From inside their secretive world, we report how Nazi extremists disturbingly use music to recruit people to their far-right cause. They call it the White Power movement. It's happening in the USA, across Europe, and in Britain. The BNP are emerging with a new self-confidence. The Italian music scene has helped fascists win seats in Parliament. And in Germany, the far right are more powerful than at any time since the war. For the first time, we film their secret concerts around the world and track how the global Nazi network is funded through music. There are many different styles tailored to attract as broad an audience as possible.
Strike force, white survival, strike force, yeah. Strike force, gonna kill our rivals. Strike force, into the devil's lair.
Groups like this are used to target children. The British White Power movement is now specifically recruiting rebellious teenagers. Their latest tactic is their most ambitious yet, handing out free CDs outside the gates of British schools. It's a tactic learned from earlier successes in Germany and the USA. They call it Project Schoolyard.
Project Schoolyard was a campaign launched by a Minneapolis-based record label called Panzerfaust. It was an attempt to distribute free White Power compact discs to school children, specifically to try to recruit them. In fact, Panzerfaust's motto is, "We don't just entertain racist kids, we help create them."
Project Schoolyard USA featured British bands including Brutal Attack, formerly known as Dead Packy in the Gutter. One of the men helping it to come to British schools is Stephen Cartwright, a leading force in the White Power scene and a player in the BNP.
They had quite a lot of people in the schools who were quite happy to go along and put them in the locker type areas and things like that, and they were sold very, very cheaply, I can see the positive side of it. There is actually plans to have such a CD coming out. It's only the early stage at the moment of a Project Schoolyard type CD by a selection of British bands.
Guaranteed to offend, it's offering teenagers a new form of musical rebellion. Too offensive for the shops, it is sold over the internet, and this virtual market has boosted the movement, making the music accessible.
And people who walk about never ask why.
The BNP's latest recruitment drive is called Great White Records.
Any money raised by the sales of albums under Great White Records will go directly to the BNP to help them in their election funding, any other projects they've got going. It is solely aimed to help the BNP. The great thing is about Great White Records is that young people love anything that's seen as rebellious. So when the social workers and the teachers, the parents who, my God, that's a taboo label. The hope is young people always rebel, and in our opinion, if they're going to rebel, we'd like them to do it our way and to listen to our music.
For your daddy's gone, left dead on the ground, because he did walk through the wrong part of town.
Initially 13 albums that are going to be released within the next few months. We've got a full merchandise section as well with the Great White Record label logo on. Kids love logos, and the hope is they'll go to school with that logo.
At the heart of the BNP's lawful venture is Chris Telford. But with his band Nemesis, he plays more controversial songs for the cause. In part 2, we explore the international network and follow the British band's attempt to stay one step ahead of the law as the Italian police try to smash an illegal White Power gig. British White Power music is designed to get people to voice their racial prejudices. Their aim, by touring Europe, is to draw their movement together for an all-white continent.
Our movement, I believe, is about our people taking responsibility for ourselves again, and taking back our countries. piece by piece dismantling this dreadful multiracial, multicultural experiment that we've had foisted on with. We deserve to survive and to prosper as much as any other biological entity in this world, whether it's a type of polar bear or the panda or other thousands of other endangered species. To my mind, the world's most endangered species is our people.
Driven more by politics than music, Chris's band Nemesis accept invitations to play all over Europe. Italy's extreme right movement, Veneto Fronte, have asked them to headline a fundraising concert. Their destination, Milan. Nemesis has played in Italy before and have even produced a joint CD with Italy's first lady of fascist music, Viking. We went to see her whilst the band rehearsed.
Don't go around with the Jews. You don't know which danger you'll find on the rail of your life. Immigration. I think it is the new plague of Europe. If respect is missing, hatred explodes. Mostly I hate black people because they don't respect me. I always say I am not a Nazi, I am a fascist, because I think that I must defend my Italian history. Don't go around with the Jews. They use you and discard you and use you and kill you slowly. I always kept this life secret because my parents don't approve what I do, especially my mother, who considers art as a form of perversion. I reached recently the 17,000 downloads of some songs of mine.
Viking's success regularly puts her in the Nazi top 10. As the time for the concert approaches, the Italian police arrive in numbers. They've been tipped off that Nemesis are in town. Italian hate laws are tight, so the concert venue is still a closely guarded secret. As the bands wait to find out where to play, they compare their Nazi credentials.
Historically, political change has always been associated with violence. Can you have a revolution without somebody getting hurt? I don't think so.
Sean Sugg, lead singer of the American white power band Max Resist, will share the top billing with Nemesis.
I played a gig in Stockholm one time and I got a little out of control. I made some hand motions that I guess weren't approved by the government. They wanted to keep me for further observation there. I had a little time in the jail there just for saluting. I think it's crazy. I make one little hand motion and bang, they wanted to give me 2 years in jail. So what if I did that? Nothing, right? I think that might be worse. I was found guilty for a thought crime because of what I think. I think skinheads like to do it because it's kind of a symbol of rebellion. It's a gesture that signals unity between us. When you give them the old Zig Heil, it's like they just become incensed. They can't, and it's just a hand motion, you know? Ozzy Osbourne bit the head off of a bat. Now that's pretty crazy, right? Did he go to jail for that? No. But I tell you, if he saluted it, actually, if Ozzy could probably get away with it.
Yeah, that's right.
Ozzy could probably do it.
Well, he's got a Jewish wife, so he can't get away with it.
She's only half Jewish.
Yeah. The multiracial, multicultural mayhem that exists, particularly in Britain, but in Europe and America today, is we're certainly revolting in the sense against that. Of course we are. Yeah. So in that sense, you could be described as revolutionary because we do not accept today's norm. If the white European and of course white American don't wake up within 200 years, our race, Mother Nature's greatest experiment, will be gone. We'll be dead.
For the sake of argument, I say I'm a Nazi skinhead, but really I consider myself to be an Aryan. My lifestyle is an outlaw lifestyle because it's not accepted by the society or mainstream. Maybe that's one of the reasons why I'm attracted to racial politics, because it's so extreme. I want to be extreme.
As in Britain, the extreme right here is on the rise. In Italy, they regularly get about 16% of the vote, giving them a place in government. Nevertheless, Italy's white power music scene is coming under increased police surveillance. Italian law forbids incitement to racial hatred.
We are heading off in a couple of moments to actually go to the venue of the gig. Sean of the Match Resist is actually at the venue at the moment, and he's actually in discussion with the Italian organiser, regional organiser, to see if we can get permission for you guys to come in and do a bit of filming.
With just hours to go before the gig, paranoia and secrecy kicks in.
You give me a word, obviously the guys won't be there, because the guys don't want to be on camera phased out, so is that okay, boys?
Okay.
No problems. Cheers. No problems.
The bands get nervous and decide to Hidden in the wilderness in remote West Virginia is the compound of the National Alliance, the headquarters of the White Revolution. Connected to the Ku Klux Klan and with previous links to the BNP, the National Alliance is the wealthiest and most powerful neo-Nazi group on earth. Located in the armed compound is the worldwide commercial hub of the hate rock industry, selling thousands of CDs over the internet, including Saga, Max Resist, Nemesis, and more than 30 British white power bands. They claim to make millions to support far-right political groups around the world.
And this county is over 98% white. It's about the whitest state there is.
Sean Walker is the newly appointed leader of the National Alliance.
I believe we are in a state of a racial conflict. Politics are quite simple, I believe. The National Alliance is an organization that's trying to make change, to bring back policies or to invent new policies that are beneficial for white people. I don't believe that you can call yourself a free country if you're trying to regulate what people say. If you say we should go and kill this person here, and you say that to a crowd, that is illegal in America. But if you say that we should stop these Jews from controlling our country, that isn't violence.
What they do quite often is they'll, look for vulnerable young people and attempt to recruit them.
Lamb and Lynx, about 12 or 13 years old, and we just actually released their first CD. More like folk music. They just play a few instruments like this and sing, and they even go, without music, a cappella.
Strike force, white survival, strike force, yeah. Strike force, gonna kill our rivals. Strike force, into the devil's lair.
The National Alliance's biggest money spinner, Resistance Records, broke into the music market with this founding mission statement.
To get millions of young white Americans and Europeans to make resistance music their music of choice, instead of the negroid filth churned out by MTV.
I'm Eric Levy, here in front of the National Alliance headquarters in rural, beautiful Hillsboro, West Virginia. I'm the Chief Executive Officer of Resistance Records, and I'd like to introduce to you my lovely wife, Erica.
I'm Erica Glebe, his wife and official t-shirt designer for Resistance Records and his right-hand woman.
Before joining the National Alliance, Erica was High Priestess of the First United Church of Adolf Hitler and a Playboy playmate. Her husband Eric was a professional boxer, known affectionately as the Aryan Barbarian.
We want to use any medium that will carry our message, whether it's CDs, whether it's speeches, whether it's books, flags, posters, boots, t-shirts, pins, patches. We definitely have well over $1 million worth of inventory in this warehouse. The money that comes in from the sales of CDs, of white power CDs, definitely will be used for political projects. Our best-selling CD is Johnny Rebel. Here's a CD, Classic Clan Compositions. And this just goes to show that country music is the genre which we need to branch out into. The lyrics are very simple, but a lot of people find this music to be entertaining.
Move them niggers north, move them niggers north. If they don't like our southern ways, then move them niggers north.
Music is used to promote the most vile forms of racism and violence you can imagine. The ideas of creating the final solution, something that Hitler wanted to do, are very much part and parcel of this movement.
This one's Hitler. It says, "I was right."
It's more or less for entertainment value, and a number of people find that humorous.
Video games which they produce are perhaps a little bit more interesting and sophisticated. One of them is simply called Ethnic Cleansing. And it's a game which is a first-person style shooter in which the character is immersed in this world where their job is to shoot Mexican Americans, to shoot Jews, to shoot African Americans, and and try and exterminate them.
The National Alliance even has its own strange form of religion, cosmotheism, which believes in the creation of a white master race.
I think we are a perfect Aryan role model couple.
It's like people who raise thoroughbred racehorses. They want the highest bred quality of horses to breed with one another to produce the finest thoroughbred racehorse. If you could do that in the animal world, why can't you do that in the human world? I believe in the biological elevation of our people. I want to create as perfect of a race as possible. Yes, man can become God.
I choose someone to mate with on their race. It's as simple as that. It's not really complicated.
I would not want to mate with a person who is physically deformed or had some sort of genetic illness that would be carried down to my children.
When not planning the next master race, Eric and Erica work at expanding Resistance's catalogue.
Yeah, here's a demo I just got in the mail today. It's from a band called Fatherland. AH edition. Must be the Adolf Hitler edition. Let's have a listen to it here.
Hi, I'm a homosexual, and you have to fire on my friend who's not a homosexual.
Yeah, it's Viagra in the background, and there's some, sounds like a telephone hate call.
Eric has sent thousands of demo CDs from hopeful far-right bands across the world. If accepted, Resistance Records do their global marketing.
Worst case scenario, obviously, would be if one of the many different white power bands were able to break into the mainstream, to have, Bound for Glory or one of these other bands appear on MTV and reach a mass audience with their music. That's certainly of great concern for us.
Yeah, usually I could tell within a few minutes whether this is something I want to get involved with. What I've heard so far, it definitely needs some work. I didn't particularly care for the vocals on it. And our main thing is to grab the listener's attention with the good music as well as a good message lyrically.
Let the battle begin! When people act on the words behind the music, the consequences can be all too real.
When we saw the Benjamin Smith killings here in the Midwest, where Ben Smith, a person who doesn't fit that stereotypical image of those attracted to this movement, went on a two-state killing spree.
And the Jews and the blacks and all the mud races are trying to destroy our people, and that is why we hate them.
This man is on a spree. He's just shooting people and all over the state.
Here was an example where a young man was attracted to this movement by white power music and eventually decided to carry out his own version of a racial holy war, killing 2 and injuring more than a dozen. When he was finally stopped in downstate Illinois by police, they found in his car weapons, ammunition, a large sum of money, and a whole stack of white power compact discs. His was one of those instances where his committing the racial holy war was being fueled by the soundtracks to the white revolution.
The National Alliance's founder wrote their best-selling book, The Turner Diaries. It became Tim McVeigh's Bible and provided him with the blueprint for the Oklahoma bombing, killing 168 men, women, and children. Attempts to start the White Revolution have happened in the UK. In April 1999, acting on his own, David Copeland, the nail bomber, attacked the gay, black and Asian communities across London. He killed 3 people and injured 139. With political aspirations in mind, the BNP has done everything they can to smarten up their image and distance themselves from the extremists' behaviour. Under the leadership of Nick Griffin, they went on to win almost 1 million votes in the European elections. With the rise of immigration as an election issue, they hope for a record result.
The number of votes recorded for each candidate at the said election is as follows. Griffin Nicholas John, British National Party, 4,240.
It's good, steady progress. We go on next year to win a lot more council seats.
The BNP attribute their success to their decision to distance themselves from skinheads and boots.
Going back to, say, 1997, we looked at the party at the state it was in then. We looked at people like the Front National and what they'd done, and we concluded that we had to legitimise ourselves before parts of the political process and the public will legitimise us. We looked at what we were doing wrong, and that includes strutting around in flight jackets and big boots. So, we consciously got rid of them.
But the BNP's makeover has been damaged by some in their ranks who in private remain old school. Scott McLean, the party's deputy leader, recently led a Nazi camp in Scotland.
One, two, three, Auschwitz!
In spite of events like this, the BNP made remarkable gains in last year's council elections. Their vote around England's skinhead capital, Heanor near Nottingham, increased sevenfold. Operating out of Heanor are one of the biggest bands in the white power scene, Whitelaw. On the eve of a European tour, the band get together to rehearse.
The white power music scene is very diverse. Everybody just thinks, oh, a load of skinheads in a bar, jumping around, blah, blah, blah. And it's not at all. I mean, you've got like all types of different bands. You've progressive rock bands, you've got thrash metal bands, you've got skinhead bands.
Explain to yourself, really. We're in our country, like, we do a drop of Whitelaw. We feel that, like, real strongly about capital punishment in this country. So the noose is our sign.
I think a lot of writers in the bands on our music scene, they've adapted themselves to become very clever writers because they've had to make things as a double meaning where people can read into something, but then it also can be read as something else. Like, has anybody got a pen? We would never go mainstream because we ain't working for the people who run that scene. And we aren't mixing with them people who are in that scene either. We don't mix with drug addicts. We don't play for drug addicts, and we don't play for homosexuals either.
Who's the man who monitors you? And who the fuck's he working for? Representing us, it's just a laugh. We're public enemy number one, so fuck you! Ask yourself!
British white power bands are at the forefront of exporting hate rock to Europe, and Whitelaw are invited to tour more than any other band. They have to tailor their music for the German market and race hate laws.
Don't know where we're going, because we never do. We've tried to play Germany for the last 2 years, but every time we try to play Germany, it's been cancelled. We've actually been in the country when we've been pulled before, haven't we? And we've just been with a bunch of people. You know, we've been down a drinking pub and they've totally raided the bar, like turned up with SAS masks on and riot helmets. We thought there was something from Third Reich coming in, didn't we? We just thought somebody mucking about. Musical terrorists. Right.
Germany, where the far right has its greatest support, but where the laws and the police crack down on neo-Nazis the hardest. In this part of the country, the neo-Nazi NPD received 25% of the vote and have seats in the regional parliament. Heinrich Ostendorf is in charge of recruiting for the NPD's youth wing.
The people who vote, mainly youth. Yeah, this is interesting. A lot of women, also something totally new. Not only these angry white men, but a lot of women who are voting this. The people saw for the first time, hey, there were not crazy neo-Nazis, or there were no skinheads with boots and bomber jacking marching into the parliament. No, very clever, well-behaved, intelligent, mostly young men. Yeah?
The neo-Nazis may have seats in the regional parliament, but before any of their concerts, they have to get permission from the German censors.
The officers asked us for all the names, yeah, the name of every single band member, yeah, and of course of the lyrics, yeah. Every lyrics, the whole set you will play this evening, yeah. And we have to check it in advance, of course, because if we would give them one song which is not legal in Germany, then I said, aha, very good, yeah, we will wait until they play this song and then we come in. And therefore it's also important not to have any media inside the concert, yeah, because they can record it, and when they can show, hey, this song, have you heard it? They played this song, and I think this song is not okay in Germany, yeah, and then you will get in trouble, yeah.
In part 4, hundreds of riot police threaten to raid the gig, and the Nazi organisers contemplate a return to power. The British white power band Whitelaw has been invited to headline with some of Germany's most famous bands. As usual, the concert venue is secret. The band and the fans are only told the general directions to head, and then only shortly before the concert is due to start are they told exactly where to go. Police surveillance and anti-Nazi legislation has made the neo-Nazi groups paranoid. This has fed conspiracy theories and forced them to develop their own codes and language. One favourite is Zog, Zionist-occupied government, used to describe an alleged anti-white conspiracy involving the police, government and media, apparently all controlled by Jewish interests.
We're expecting nearly 3,000 people, yeah? And that is the problem. That is what already the police know, because they got calls from all over police stations all over Germany. They told us, hey, if you have not the right, yeah, to make this concert. And they are now thinking about what they can do. If they would like to ban our concert, yeah, if the police would like to storm our concert, then we say we bring our protest on the streets to the people of this town to show, hey, we would like to hear our band, our music, yeah, and the police said, no, you are not allowed to hear this. So, this is a reason for a spontaneous demonstration. Right now, they made no decision. I think right now they are only waiting for more police forces coming from outside, yeah, to make more pressure, because right now we are too much for them. The queue is still long, yeah, and still we have to check everybody, weapons or anything on, yeah. No mobile phone with camera is allowed, yeah. I would like to begin as soon as possible, yeah, because I think that the police won't attack or won't storm. It's only a matter of time.
Top of the bill is Lunikov, a messiah in this world. This is his farewell concert. He's about to go to jail for 3 years for spreading race hate.
We are the good one. We are the light. We are the sun. And after the dark, the cold night, the warm sun has to come again. Hail the new dawn!
Whitelaw were keen to fly the British flag and do their piece before the police intervened.
This is about paedophiles, and this is about Anya the Bastards, Fetch the Noose. We need some public lynchings, prosperity bastards lie. See him swing, rot and quiver, as the noose makes them fly. We say, face the noose. We say, Anya. We say, Bill the Bastard, shove me swinging in the sky banner.
Klaus Menzel, deputy leader of the regional MPD, has spent much of the evening negotiating with the police.
We have too much foreigners in this country. It's not something to say against these people, but they have no labor, they have no money, they are living on the German population.
Your brothers, are our brothers. White power, Germany. Deutschland.
The future, my future, is gone. But the future of this young boys and girls. So I must fight on.
Deutschland, England. Deutschland, England. Deutschland, England. Deutschland, England. Deutschland, England.
Tension rises as riot police surround the hall and threaten to storm the venue.
Right, the police have said that we've got to cut the gig short, so we're going to cut our set short so the rest of the bands get on.
This is for everyone and not them bastards outside.
I'd just like to say thank you to everybody who's here today. Everybody who's put the things up to organise this gig, where we can all come together and stand as one in unity against that fucking dirty Zionist state out there.
Death to Zog! Death to Zog! Death to Zog!
It's like that we are in a trap.
I've no one to leave now because as soon as they start leaving, they'll get picked up.
What you see is here is a build-up of people who are working for the government to suppress a view.
For things to get better, they've got to get worse. And to me, I'd let every asylum seeker in this country that want to come in, I would. I'd let them all in, I would, because that will cause enough unrest to give me my way.
That movement is continuing to grow and move from the margins to the mainstream.
Let them hate as long as they fear, because the white racial nationalist movement worldwide is coming and are going to reclaim our destiny.
A few years ago, we were the poor Nazis and everybody were laughing about us, yeah? But now we have the power. Nazi, no, it's fine. Nazi is okay. Never give up. Always be optimistic. And who knows, in 5 years, in 10 years, we will give the order to these soldiers, yeah?
Next tonight, the race hate debate explores the issues raised by this programme, including the race hate laws and freedom of speech.